Here it is. It's got its primer dried on it. It's still a bit tacky, but you can see where I twatted it with the hammer. I can't be asked to mask it off. That'd be alright. Oh, fucking hell. Oh shit, it's blowing back in my face. Look, this is a Raider build.
Yeah.
This is the sort of shit Raiders in the wasteland would be doing. I'm ready for the apocalypse. I'm practicing now. That's how we do it in the wasteland. As you can see, there's no real thought going into this. And yeah, it generally looks shit, which was the idea really, because let's face it, in the wasteland, in the apocalypse, anyone's going to do whatever old shit they feel like, and they probably would smack the hell out of it with a hammer just for something to do if they're in a bad mood. Anyway, I just want to try and rough it up a bit more just to finish off the base look. No idea how this is going to go, completely not really planned it that much. And then I've been thinking more about the build and what I'm going to put in it. So I guess I can talk about that while I'm doing this, messing it up. So I'm looking at putting in an Asus Republic of Gamers Hero motherboard, which will be the Haswell the Z87 chipset. Now, let's get some proper wear and tear on them buttons. The Z87 chipset. It's going to start off with an i5 4670K, which is already lapsed and delidded and all that. Yeah, there you go. That's 80 grit. Seems to be the amount. Got plenty of brush strokes in there as well. You can see them. Plenty of brush strokes, dents, little patches of red primer to replicate a bit of rust. I mean, yeah, I know you can get proper rust paint. Trouble is, the cheapest rust paint I could find was about 30 quid just for a small tin, and I thought, again, you start spending that sort of money on a budget build, it's not really in keeping with it, is it? Here we have the Maximus Hero Z87 chipset. There's the 4670K, already been lapped and delidded. H100 cooler, still in the screen. Yep, this is the 12-year-old one. Been put back in the box about 5 years ago. It's all there, bit of dust on it here and there. I know the pump doesn't light up anymore because that had packed up ages ago, but hopefully it will be alright. Next we've got the cryo fuel. This is what will be going in the radiator, all being well, if it still works. It's pre-mixed. What's it say? I don't know what the colour's got to do with anything, but there you go. Usual Adata SU630, this one is it? Or 630, 240 gigabyte drive. That was, I think, about 18 quid. And I've got this power supply on sale from CCL. It is the Gigabyte P650B, 80 plus bronze, usual silent fan, whatever. And it's got 54 amp rail on the 12 volt, which is the important one. So yeah, that was £45. Delivery was free on both bits. Okay, well I've decided how I'm going to mount the cooler on the Raider case, but because this is 11 years old, no 12 years old, I'm going to have to service the cooler. I've got no choice. So. Right, let's have a look. Oh, actually looks pretty clean. Right, here we go. Yep, that works. Is you put your water in, then you literally stand it up like that, and then when you've done that for a bit, just lay it back down and it will go down. Right, I've decided the cooler is going to be mounted on the top, so I've now got to cut this space out here to be able to fit the cold plate and everything through. That's if the drill bit's not blunt. Now, you're right bare ass to China on this. Start cutting it out. And one thing you want with a Raider build is you want the minimum amount of effort and work possible. Because let's face it, in the wasteland, you ain't got time to be doing things properly. Right, there's your... try and get that a little bit off. Yeah, that'll go through there, no problem. To have some protection from the edges, I've decided to repurpose this 20-odd year old mountain bike tyre. Right, not sure how this is going to work, but there we go. I want to get a... There you go, she's on. Well, there it is. I managed to push that through the hole there. I'm not going to try and pull it out again because that's where I want it, but now the pipe shouldn't get cut. I'm going to be using Gilid Extreme thermal paste. So I think for value for money it's probably the best one out there. Yeah, it comes with this little spreader thing that you can put on the end, but that's not how I do it. I'm not going to quite put it on how I do it normally at the minute though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blob on like so and leave it like that, and then I'm going to push down with the cooler because I haven't installed this cooler for quite a few years, and make sure that it's got a good contact with the CPU, because the last thing I want to do is not have it touching properly. Right, so that's about where it's going to sit. Yeah, not too bad. We'll put it on there. I tend to like to, with one of these, just wiggle it about a bit. Yeah, that's definitely going to give a good. That's probably a little bit too much paste on there, to be honest. Okay, I decided to fire it up anyway. I thought I can't wait. So the pump's working, the board and everything, it's all good, and just sitting on the pump, sitting at sort of 25-26 degrees C. There's no fans or anything on there at the moment, and it's all at stock clocks, which is, where are we, 3800 megahertz. Okay, well, I happen to have a mechanical drive which has actually a hybrid drive with solid state cache on there, about 16 gigabytes or something, and that had Windows 10 on. So I've actually got the computer booted into Windows, and it's clocked at 4.4 gigahertz, which I just used the auto clock in the BIOS to do it, and that should run stable. Unfortunately, the fan on the liquid cooler, even with it on silent mode, spinning like a jet engine, which the old Corsair ones did tend to do. So I'm going to stick a different fan on there. I've got one kicking about somewhere, so that's obviously going to add to the price of the build, but I can't live with that fan, it's just too loud. Otherwise, yeah, it seems to be running alright.